So, what if 6 of the world's most ambitious companies, you know the ones in cars, space, AI, social media, even brain tech, what if they weren't really separate companies at all? What if they were all just pieces of a single, unified super company that's being built to solve civilization's biggest problems? Well, today, we're going to break down exactly that. We're talking about the Muskonomy. And it really all starts with this one absolutely staggering number, $8.5 trillion. No, that is not a typo. It's the almost unbelievably audacious valuation this empire is actually aiming for, a figure that would literally reshape the global economy. So, the question is, how is that even possible?
Okay, so let's define our terms. The Muskonomy. It's the name for this whole ecosystem. You've got 6 companies that are legally separate, sure, but strategically, they are deeply woven together. The whole idea is to create a single, incredibly powerful engine to smash through the biggest hurdles we face as a species. You know, things like energy, transportation, intelligence, and even the limits of our own biology. But you have to understand, this empire isn't just built on money or ambition, it's built on a very specific way of thinking. There's a philosophical blueprint that really governs every single decision, every innovation, and every single risk. And that philosophy is all about first principles thinking. It's been written about in places like the Book of Elon. Basically, instead of looking at how other people have done something and just kind of copying them, you break a problem all the way down to its fundamental, undeniable truths. You get down to the physics of it, and then you build all the way back up from there. That's how you end up with stuff like reusable rockets or totally new ways to manufacture cars. It is the intellectual scaffolding for the entire Muskonomy.
So how did we get here? Well, the journey really starts back in the early 2000s with the PayPal mafia. That provided the seed money. But the really crucial shift, the game changer, happened in the mid-2000s. That's when the focus moved from the world of software, bits, to the much, much harder and more expensive world of physical engineering, of bits and atoms. And that move is what set the stage for right now, for 2026, where the Muskonomy is really coming into its own as this formalized, unified powerhouse.
And the moment this empire was truly forged, this is the dramatic climax of this whole multi-decade story, was the merger of its 2 most powerful pieces, SpaceX and xAI. This is the point where it becomes a totally new kind of global power.
And the result? A combined private company valued at a mind-blowing $1.25 trillion. That immediately makes it the most valuable private company on the planet. But you have to get this. The value here isn't just about the money. It's deeply, deeply strategic.
So how in the world do you even get to a number that big? Okay, let's break it down, because this table really shows the logic. You have SpaceX, with its massive, steady cash flow from rocket launches and Starlink. It acts as the global distribution rail. It then takes that capital and funds xAI, the cognitive engine, which has this almost infinite need for money to build out its AI infrastructure. You see, it's like a perfect, self-sustaining financial marriage.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the core engineering reason why you do this merger. See, the biggest problem for AI on Earth is the absolutely insane cost of energy and cooling for these massive data centers. But if you move them into orbit, you get constant solar power, and the vacuum of space provides free, passive cooling. And the result? A potential 22 times reduction in energy cost. It's a total game changer. And this right here is the logical conclusion. As Musk himself put it, space is about to become the cheapest, most efficient place to run artificial intelligence. Think about it. You just bypass all of the limits we have here on Earth. Creaky power grids, water shortages for cooling, land use battles, and even local politics. You're basically building the AI infrastructure for all of humanity, but off-planet.
But Orbital AI, as huge as it is really just the beginning. Let's look at how it fits into the bigger picture, because this isn't just a random collection of companies. It is designed from the ground up to be an empire of synergy.
And this is where you can really see that synergy just pop. It's a closed-loop system, a perfect circle. Step 1. Tesla builds the physical hardware, the cars and Optimus robots that actually move around and interact with the real world. Step 2. xAI provides their intelligence, their brain. Step 3. X, the social media platform, gives it this massive, real-time fire hose of human conversation to learn from. And finally, Step 4. Starlink provides the global network to connect and control all of it. Each part makes the others exponentially more powerful. It's a flywheel.
And the other pillars of the empire are just as wild. I mean, Tesla isn't just a car company anymore, it's a robotics company. X isn't just social media, its X money feature is aiming to be a global bank. Neuralink is literally working on implants to restore sight, and the Boring Company is taking its traffic-solving tunnels international. The sheer scale of it all is just immense.
But here's the thing. When you have ambition this big, it comes with risk. Massive, company-defining risk. This entire trillion-dollar enterprise is, when you get right down to it, one incredible gamble.
Which brings us to the one question we absolutely have to ask. For all of its world-changing potential, is this empire really built on solid ground? Or is it the most spectacular house of cards ever constructed?
The biggest financial risk is what some analysts call a potential Minsky moment. Here's what that means. A huge chunk of Musk's personal wealth is tied up in Tesla stock, right? And that stock is heavily borrowed against. So if the price drops significantly, it could trigger margin calls, forcing a massive sale of shares, creating this domino effect that wouldn't just impact Musk, but could honestly ripple through the entire tech market.
So how do you deal with a risk that big? Or maybe a better question is, how do you convince someone to take it in the first place? Well, the answer is this number, an unprecedented $878 billion pay package, known as the Mars Shot Plan. It's designed to incentivize Musk to stick around for the long haul and hit these insane goals, including that $8.5 trillion valuation. The risk is astronomical, sure, but the potential reward is literally the largest in corporate history.
And that financial risk? It's just one piece of the puzzle. The regulatory hurdles are huge, especially in the Delaware courts. They have this thing called the Entire Fairness Standard, which basically means you have to prove that big decisions benefit all the shareholders, not just the controlling one. And that is a very, very high legal bar to clear. Then you've got political risk. The empire relies on government contracts from NASA and the Department of Defense, which means it's vulnerable to shifting political winds. And finally, you've got good old-fashioned competition. The world is catching up, and those early advantages in EV tech and launch capability are being challenged from all sides.
So what is the Muskonomy in the end? Is it a genuinely new kind of engine for building humanity's future? A vertically integrated machine designed to solve our biggest problems? Or is it simply the largest, most complex, and riskiest gamble ever undertaken by one person? Well, that is the trillion-dollar question.